lambda-வா வரும். F is greater than FC na, this will be less than 1. 1 minus less than 1 is less 1 minus less than something less than 1 is always less than 1. Square root of less than 1 is always less than 1. 1 by less than 1 is always greater than 1. Then definitely lambda g will be greater than lambda. Lambda g will be greater than lambda. Actually இங்க பாத்தீங்கனாலே தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும். இங்கெல்லாம் எப்படி எழுதுனீங்க? ஓகே, ஸோ இப்போ இங்கேயும் அதே ஃபார்மெட்டில் தான் இருக்குது. விபி எப்படி கிரேட்டர் தென் சின்னு எழுதுனீங்க, அதே ஃபார்மெட் தான். நியூமரேட்டரில் லேம்டாக்கு பதிலாக விசி இருக்குது, அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ இதே தான் இங்கே எப்படி விபி கிரேட்டர் தென் சின்னு எழுதுனா அங்கேயும் அதே போல தான் வரப்போகுது. ஸோ lambda g is greater than lambda. Lambda g is greater than lambda. So wavelength of the waveguide, that means guide wavelength. Wavelength inside the waveguide. Wavelength inside the waveguide, okay, is always greater than the wavelength of the free space. Okay, so lambda g, that is wavelength of waveguide. Okay, wavelength of waveguide is larger than in free space. Is larger than in free space. Is larger than in free space. Okay, that is lambda greater than lambda g. Sorry, lambda g is greater than lambda in general. Okay, so this also you should remember. Sometime in the exam they'll ask what is the guide wavelength. Okay. Okay, next we will go for cylindrical waveguide. Next we will go for cylindrical waveguide. Again, there will not go in detail and all. Directly I will write the formula that is needed for dominant mode, because again it consists of a lot of equations. Most probably you will get questions from the cutoff frequency of dominant mode, that I will write directly. Then we will see why we are not using circular waveguide as compared to rectangular waveguide. In practice, most of the time we used to use only rectangular waveguide, but not the circular waveguide. Then what is the reason behind that? Then finally we will see why that particular TEM mode, transverse electric magnetic mode, is not possible in case of waveguide. That also we will see later. Okay, next topic is next one is cylindrical waveguide, or otherwise you can tell it as a circular waveguide also. Okay, cylindrical waveguide. Okay, cylindrical waveguide. Then what is the shape of that one? Say if you make circle, then you extend this. This is the cylindrical waveguide, and this is the radius of the cylinder, radius of the circle, that is A. So A means radius of the cylinder. Okay, in previous case we had 2 dimension A and B, but here only 1 dimension. It's simply A. It's simply A only. Okay, now okay. Now what is the for dominant mode? Generally, what is the nature of the cutoff frequency in case of cylindrical waveguide? It may be TE mode or TM mode. What is the nature of cutoff frequency? The nature of cutoff frequency is divided by C divided by 2 pi. Okay, mu r epsilon r, mu r epsilon r. Then some new constant comes, HAMN. You do not know this value. It has to be computed from the table, or otherwise you have to remember the value of this one. Okay, HA will have the product of H and A will have different value for different M and N, different M and N. Okay, then HAMN, okay, HAMN divided by A. A means what? Dimensions of the circular waveguide. That means radius of the waveguide. So here H that using is something is equal to gamma square omega square mu epsilon. Okay, this is for simplicity. I'm writing, that's it. No need to remember. I will finally tell you what formula you have to remember. The exam point of view. These are all simply formulas. Just know the structure of the formula. That's it. Okay. And again, this is something. How can you calculate this value and all? This is something related with the Bessel functions. Okay, Bessel function. This HA value can be calculated with the Bessel function. You know, whenever you have Bessel function, you will have Jn, and inside the bracket you will have some variable. Like in case of FM communication, it is beta. Now in this case, you are having HA. In this case, you are having HA. Okay, from the n is decided by this one, this Bessel functions, and also m is decided by the mode. Okay, mode, which mode you are operating. Okay, finally m and n, m and n. Sorry, n in n into m. Okay, so then what is the dominant mode here? What is the dominant mode? Then if it is free space, then really mu r is equal to 1, epsilon r is equal to 1, that you can relax if it is a free space. Okay, I'll write next one. Fc is equal to c divided by 2 pi a, then simply the value of HANM. Okay, so for TE, for transverse electric field, for TE mode, for TE dominant, for DE dominant mode is equal to, dominant mode comes when n value is 1 and m value is 1, that is equal to 1.84. For TE, HA value, okay, in case of circular waveguide in TE mode, which one is dominant? TE11. In case of circular waveguide, in TE mode, which one is dominant? 1 is dominant. For that value is 1.84. So finally, simply I will remember the formula. So instead of HANM, I can write 1.84. It is simply 1.84 C divided by 2 pi A. Okay, this is the cutoff frequency of dominant mode in case of TE. Okay, TE dominant mode cutoff frequency is 1.84 C divided by 2 pi A. You simply remember, anyway C will come in the numerator, and again in the denominator, simply remember the circumference of the circle. It is simply 2 pi A. Then some extra constant you have to remember. If it is a TU mode, you have to remember this value 1.84, and you know always C comes in the numerator. Okay, simply this is 1.84. You have to remember this value. Then for TM mode, dominant, for TM mode dominant value, dominant mode is comes when n is equal to 0 and m is equal to 1. That value is 2.405. So finally, the cutoff frequency for this one is, instead of 1.84, I'm getting 2.4 C divided by 2 pi A. Okay, very simply you can remember the formula only. For a circular waveguide, you have to remember only two formulas, sir. The structure of the formula is same, C divided by 2 pi A only. That constant only you have to remember. Which constant? Okay, this is 2 pi 4 and this is 1.84. Mostly in the exam you will get questions based on this formulas only, based on this formula. Okay, this is for TM. This is 2.4, and for TE this is simply 1.84. Okay. Next, what is the advantage of circular waveguide? Okay, what is the advantage of circular waveguide? Because there are two types of waveguide. One is rectangular and another one is circular. Then what is the advantage of this one? Okay, advantage of circular waveguide. Okay, advantage of circular waveguide. Okay, so it has less attenuation. See what happens when you, in case of waveguide, when you keep on increasing the frequency, the attenuation will increase. But in case of, if you use circular waveguide at higher frequencies, you will have lesser attenuation as compared to the rectangular waveguide. Okay, so in case of circular waveguide, the attenuation is less at high frequency as compared to the rectangular waveguide. That's why we are using the circular waveguide. So it has less attenuation. Okay, I'll write the statement. It has less attenuation. It has less attenuation. It has less attenuation as the frequency increases. As frequency increases. As frequency increases, as compared to rectangular waveguide. See what happens. See, you are at some high frequencies. Suppose you have an option to use both circular waveguide or rectangular waveguide. Then which one will give you less attenuation? Very clearly, the circular waveguide will give you the very less attenuation. That's why when you go for very high frequencies, then instead of rectangular waveguide, you can use the circular waveguide. You can use the circular waveguide. This is the one advantage of the circular waveguide. But in general, why we are not using the circular waveguide? In general, why we are not using the circular waveguide? Why circular waveguide not preferred in general? Why circular waveguide is not preferred? Okay, the first one is the range of frequencies is less. What is range of frequency? Range of frequency is like a bandwidth of the system. Okay, the range of frequency in case of circular waveguide is less as compared to the rectangular waveguide. Say for example, if you are able to send 1 to 10 gigahertz through some rectangular waveguide, then what is the meaning of then what happens to circular waveguide? It is sending from 5 to 10 gigahertz only. It is not sending the low frequencies. Then very clearly this is sending 1 to 10 gigahertz, around 9 gigahertz bandwidth. Here it is sending only around 5 gigahertz bandwidth. Okay, around 5 gigahertz. So the rectangular waveguide is having more bandwidth. Okay, that's why the range of frequencies is dominant. Okay, is dominant. The range of frequency is less in circular waveguide. The range of frequency is less in circular waveguide. That is the idea. Range of frequency is less. Okay. Range of frequency is lesser even in dominant mode. Even in dominant mode. Because the dominant mode will always give you the more frequency range. Even if you operate in the dominant mode, the range of frequency is lesser. That's why the statement is like that. The range of frequency even in the dominant mode is lesser. Next, again, due to the circular symmetry, it may alter the polarization. It may alter the polarization. Whenever electromagnetic signal goes through the circular waveguide, there is a chance that the polarization may be altered. But in case of rectangular waveguide, the alteration of polarization is not possible. But in case of circular, it is possible. Okay, so circular symmetry may alter the polarization of the wave. Circular symmetry may alter the polarization of wave. Circular symmetry may alter the polarization of wave. Then last one, and very, very important in the exam, the last question based on this. Okay, circular waveguide needs larger cross-sectional dimension for the same operating frequency. Okay, circular waveguide needs larger cross-sectional dimension for the same operating frequency. Okay, circular waveguide needs larger cross-sectional area for same operating frequency. Okay, circular waveguide needs larger cross-sectional area for same operating frequency. Okay, that means what? Suppose if you want to send some frequency, because frequency and the dimensions are related, because in the cutoff frequency formula, cutoff frequency is decided by the dimension. Okay, if you want to operate some frequency, that is decided by the dimension also. You should have some dimension. Okay, once if you want to operate some frequency, okay, if you want to send a wave at some frequency, definitely The circular waveguide needs larger area. The circular waveguide cross-sectional area is larger as compared to the cross-sectional area of the rectangular. Okay, once if it is larger, then definitely that particular waveguide will be cost will be high, then its physical dimension will be high, then it is difficult to handle and all. So that's why this is also one disadvantage of the circular waveguide as compared to the rectangular waveguide. Then now we will see why TEM mode is not possible in case of TEM mode is not possible in case of waveguide. Okay, TEM means transverse electromagnetic mode. That particular variety is possible in case of free space. Next, you should note TEM is possible in free space. Possible in free space because free space is not bounded by anything, but TEM is possible in free space. What is the meaning of TEM? The electric field and magnetic field will be completely transverse to the direction of propagation. This is your electric field, then this is your magnetic field. This is the called TEM wave. But this particular wave is not possible in case of waveguide. See, whereas in case of TEM, not possible in waveguide. Not possible in waveguide. To again, what happens? Why it is not possible? Why it is not possible? Say for example, what is TEM? The moment you put TEM, transverse electromagnetic field, means Ez is equal to 0, Hz is equal to 0. Then you go back to your equations for transverse electric or transverse magnetic. You are having two set of equations. Okay, in any one of the set, you put both Ez and Hz as 0. Once if you put both Ez, generally any one of the thing will be 0. Say for example, for TEM, Ez is 0 and Hz is 0. For TE, what is 0, sir? For TE, Ez is 0. But again, you are forcibly making, you are trying to make TE as TEM. Once if you try to make TE as TEM, then definitely you are forcing Hs to be 0. Then what will happen? Once if you put Ez equal to 0 and Hz is equal to 0, all the remaining remaining 4 component will become 0. Once if we make this condition, remaining 4 field component will become 0. 4 field component. Okay, whenever we are having freedom, just try to analyze this. Once if we put Ez equal to 0 and Hz equal to 0 in TE, remaining 4 field component will become 0. Will become 0. Similarly, in case of TM also, in case of TM already Hz is equal to 0, then if you forcibly make Ez equal to 0, the same thing will happen. Then finally, what is the idea? The TEM mode is not possible in waveguide. Once if you try to have TEM mode, then it is making all the field component as 0. Finally, you will not have any wave at all. That's why TEM mode is not possible in waveguide. It's not possible in waveguide. So note TEM, transverse electric magnetic. Transverse electric magnetic. Okay, TEM mode does not exist inside the waveguide. Mode does not exist inside the waveguide. Inside the waveguide, because when both Ez and Hz is 0, when both Ez and Hz is 0, then no component of E and H field will exist. Then no component of E or H field will exist inside the waveguide. Okay, then wave propagation is not possible. Then from diagram point of view, I'll try to explain this. Okay, so Suppose if you are having the waveguide, okay, this is the waveguide. Okay, what you are telling, say for example, if you are trying to have TEM mode, if you want to have TEM mode, if you want to have TEM mode, it is very clear. Once if you want to have TEM mode, Ez has to be 0, then Hz has to be 0. Okay, what is our direction of direction? This is our direction of Z. Okay, in this direction I am moving. This is my Z cap direction. In this direction I am moving. When Ez is 0 and Hz is 0, okay, now let's take Hz is 0. Once if Hz is 0, the magnetic field component is really 0 in the Z direction, then it has to be really on this plane. It has to be really on the XY plane. Okay, it has to be really on the XY plane, that is the cross section. Okay, then you know the nature of the magnetic field. You know the nature of the magnetic field. Once if magnetic field is there, in general, it will make rotational nature. Once if magnetic field is there, it will make rotational nature. So, okay, so if you want to have TEM mode, so Ez is 0, Hz is 0, so there is no magnetic field along the Z axis, then it has to be very clearly on the cross section, that is XY plane, But you know one thing, okay, del dot B is always 0, irrespective of anything else. Del dot B is always 0. Del dot B is always 0. And okay, del dot B is 0, then really magnetic field is there. Okay, that's why the magnetic field cannot be in a linear manner. It has to be in a rotational manner. Then only del dot B will be 0, because now there is no magnetic field along the Z axis. The magnetic field is present only on the XY plane. If you want to satisfy del dot B is equal to 0, then really it has to be in a rotational manner. You know one thing, once if magnetic field is in the rotational manner, then it will produce the current. Okay, then it needs current actually. Once if magnetic field has to be in a rotational manner, then you need a central conductor. Okay, you need a current that has to flow on the central conductor. You need axial current. Okay, really your current has to go in this way. If you want to have a circular magnetic field, okay, from your previous experience, you know that you need a current in this way. You need a current in this way. But if you want a current, if you want to have a current like this, say this is the axial current. Axial current. If you want to have a axial current, the particular current is called conduction current. Okay, conduction current. If you want to have a axial current, conduction current. Really, once if you want to have a conduction current, you need a conductor at the center. Need conductor at the center. But there is no conductor at the center. Need conductor at the center. But really, inside the waveguide, there is no conductor at the center. Then this case is not possible. This case is not possible. That's why TEM wave is not possible inside the waveguide. But from this explanation, it is clear that if you have a conductor, central conductor inside the waveguide, then it can carry the TEM waves. It can carry the TEM waves. Waveguide with the central conductor, waveguide with central conductor can carry TEM wave. Can carry with the central conductor, can carry TEM wave, otherwise not. Okay, if you have the waveguide with the central conductor, okay, then it can carry the TEM wave. It can carry the TEM wave. Okay, so this is the final idea. Okay, next we'll go to transmission lines. Okay, 2-wire transmission lines. Okay. Yes, sir. Is there any doubt there in case of waveguide, both rectangular and circular waveguide? Almost I have discussed all the concepts related to the exam point of view. Is there any doubt there? Yes. அதாவது வேவ் கைடு உங்க கையில இருக்கு சார். யூ ஆர் ஹேவிங் வேவ் கைடு. ஓகே. ஸோ ஒன்ஸ் இஃப் அதாவது வேவ் கைடு இருக்கும்பொழுது நீங்க ஒரு எண்ட்ல இருந்து இன்னொரு எண்டுக்கு எனர்ஜி யூஸ் பண்றீங்க. அதாவது இது எல்லாமே மேத்தமெட்டிக்கல் எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் தான். அந்த டி மோட் டிஎம் மோட் இது எல்லாமே மேத்தமெட்டிக்கல் எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன். பட் வாட் இஸ் ஃபைனலி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா வேவ் கைடு இருக்குன்னா அதில் ஒரு எண்ட்ல இருந்து இன்னொரு எண்டுக்கு எப்படி எனர்ஜி போகுது, ஒரு எண்ட்ல இருந்து இன்னொரு எண்டுக்கு எப்படி எனர்ஜி போகுது. தட் இஸ் த கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் வேவ் கைடு. யூ ஆர் ஹேவிங் வேவ் கைடு. Okay, you are having waveguide, say this much of length. Okay, once if you have waveguide, okay, from one end, from transmitter end, you are sending some microwave to the receiver end. Okay, once if you are sending in this way, then waveguide is having some dimension. Then mathematically we are relating what should be the frequency, at what frequency the waveguide support. Then the support is depending on what parameter. Again we have decided the cutoff frequency. It depends on what's are A and B and also N and M. Okay, so இப்போ எனர்ஜி வந்து ஒரு இதுல இருந்து இன்னொரு இதுக்கு சென்ட் பண்ணும்பொழுது டிரான்ஸ்மிட்டர்ல இருந்து ரிசீவருக்கு போகும்பொழுது என்னென்ன ஃபார்மேட்லாம் போகலாம், வாட் இஸ் இட்ஸ் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப், அதாவது அதனுடைய ஃபேஸ் வெலாசிட்டி எப்படி இருக்கும், தென் வாட் குட் பி த குரூப் வெலாசிட்டி, how much time it is taking to go energy from this end to this end, that will be decided by the group velocity. Okay, once nipping இங்க some signal தரீங்கன்னா அது எப்போ இங்க வரும், that is decided by the group velocity. Then really inside the waveguide by the phase velocity, at what rate the phase is getting changed. So அதனால T mode TM modeலாம் தனியா கிடையாது. நம்ம வந்து என்ன சொல்றது, when wave is going from one end to another end, okay, then there will be many modes. நம்ம வந்து டிஸ்கஸ் பண்றோம் TE10, but there may be more modes. Okay, நம்மளுக்கு தெரியாது. At a time there will be lot of modes. Each mode will be carrying its own energy. Okay, so அதெல்லாம் இன்னும் டீடைலா போனாதான் நம்மளுக்கு தெரியும். பட் பர்டிகுலரா நீங்க கேக்குற மாதிரி இதுக்கு TU மோட் இதுக்கு TM மோட் அப்படின்னு தனியா எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இல்ல. எஸ்.
ஓகே.
பட் உங்களுடைய क्वेश्चन என்னன்னா, at what point of time we are using TU mode, at what point of time we are using TM mode, is there any way to control whether, what is the way to know whether we are operating in TU mode and what is the way to know whether we are operating in a TM mode? That's I think your question, but I don't have answer for this. If somebody just try to find out in the internet and Google, okay, whether really we can control whether we are in E or M, okay, then how to control it, whether you are really operating in T mode or TM mode, then what is the way to control that? Okay, so in detail, these are all in detail, you have to go into the subject. Okay, next 2-wire transmission line. Next 2-wire